Amaya.
Yeah.
Why our Jeevi Yoga is the most relevant or relatively easier method to become that what our Patanjali Yoga Sutra ultimately intends, that is to become an effortless human being. See, effortless human being. Okay. See, in that very, very creative introduction to the book of Yoga Sutra, it is written. Okay. The nature of life is to grow towards an ever more perfect and joyous expression of itself. It must be. Otherwise, why all these creations? Every tree comes into its blooming. Okay. A rose is a rose is a rose. It comes to its completeness. So, that's where our Rigvedic axiom of Purnat Purnamachyati, from completeness arises completeness. So the system has to become complete. That's what it is said. It is the nature of life. Now, see the relevant point I will just read out. Each living being has a nervous system, no matter how rudimentary. Okay. This nervous system acts as a localized reflector of all-pervading consciousness, like a mirror reflects lights. So, let us look at the organic kingdom, an earthworm. It has its small brain and nervous system. It reflects whatever atmosphere, whatever surroundings, whatever world it lives in. That's why it is able to survive, identify the suitable ambience for its survival. Okay, identifying its whatever food material and so on and so forth is possible because those things are being sensed or reflected by its small brain and nervous system. And it is able to move towards that, to create furrows in the soil and stay there. And the butterflies locating the flowers, the birds identifying the correctly tuned twigs to construct the nest. Okay?
Okay.
So this brain, however rudimentary, acts as a localized reflector of all pervading consciousness. So there must be a field of consciousness like a sea of water in this whole world, planetary wonder, in which we are also existing. Now, the more developed the nervous system, the more it will express the qualities of consciousness. And that is in the case of the human being. The more developed the nervous system, therefore, we have the more developed consciousness. Sometime back you asked me, whatever I say, you can easily comprehend it. Whatever you read, you can easily comprehend it. How is it? That's the power of consciousness. Wherever you go on this planet Earth or outer world, everything is sensed by this consciousness. So every being has the consciousness. Okay? The grass, the plants, even the smallest weed kind of plant has its so-called system, by which it is able to sense the climatic signals and grow. Right? So, entire universe of entities have their own scale of consciousness. See? And all this exists in a total field of consciousness. Consciousness is able to become aware of things. Alright? So, it is because of consciousness filled everywhere, you are able to sense a thing there, outer there. It tells you what it is. So you are able to identify the boundaries, the structure and the setting of a grass or a plant or a flower or a bird or a sky or the rains and things like that. Okay. So, according to the writer who has understood the essence of Patanjali Yoga Sutra, by which he is able to write an introduction of something like 40 pages, so he continues. The more developed the nervous system, the more it will express the qualities of pure consciousness, such as intelligence, intellect, creativity and bliss. Now, this is the very friend. I will read out the fourth paragraph. The whole thrust, like rocket thrust, the whole thrust of evolution is to create increasingly complex systems which are capable of reflecting an ever greater degree of awareness. And the human entity is the climax of that, as of now, in this planet Earth at least. You got it? The whole thrust of evolution process is to create increasingly complex systems. What systems? Nervous systems, which are capable of reflecting an ever greater degree of awareness. Okay? Science has realized that the more intelligent human beings are more intelligent than animals because of our neural organization. As a result, human beings are more consciousness at our disposal. Yoga says that the human nervous system is the crowning glory of evolution because it alone has the ability to reflect the unbounded source of consciousness. So, in which all the yoga methods suggested in Patanjali Yoga Sutra involves pranayama, samyama, to follow the yamas and the niyamas and all those rigorous practices which would take a lifetime. Okay. Now, our method of Jeevi Yoga is, that's why I said it is the essence of it. Like Zen is the essence of Indian Upanishads, Jeevi Yoga is the real essence. Because all this says that the yoga is with the creature. That consciousness in between the you is existing, okay, the yourself. So what is our Jeevi Yoga is very simple in that sense. By the use of the so-called great rasayanas, herbal preparations. And Patanjali also says enlightenment can be achieved by faith, by meditation and also by herbs. Yeah. So rasayanas, not all, there are certain rasayanas which specifically declares that there is the possibility of even getting the siddhis, ashta-siddhis, ashtaishwarya, like our Sri Siddha Madhagam or Saraswatashram gold and some other things which we make, which we suggest in the so-called package of our Jeevi Yoga. So in Jeevi Yoga, there is first a mindset analysis where the blocks, the intelligence blocks or intellect blocks are analyzed and clarified for a given person, followed by the second step of complete purgation of the alimentary canal to get rid of the decades of precipitations that might be held in the minute follicles of the huge alimentary canal, followed by our practice of the initial universal thing called Saraswatarishtam gold. The name of the rasayana itself is very indicative. They have put the name Saraswati. Saraswati meaning the deity of wisdom and understanding and enlightenment. Okay? And followed by another rasayana which will stabilize the various systems, various physiological systems of the body to be capable of representing the power of the evolved central nervous system. Okay? So, if central nervous system is the engine of the vehicle, if that alone is replenished, if the body is not capable of responding to that, okay, So the sadhanas will make the body tuned according to the completely evolved central nervous system. That is Jeevi Yoga. So what I am thrilled about is they categorically say in the very introduction the role of the evolved central nervous system that only enables the human being to come into tuning with the universal consciousness. It begins by getting in tune with one's own consciousness. That's enough. Because that consciousness is linked, it is directly linked with the universal consciousness. That's why you are able to see all these things. That's why the Bhaskaras could identify the what you call distant planetary positions in such an accuracy. That's why Dhanvantari could identify the properties of the plants and the seeds and the leaves and the roots and the other materials so accurately, along with the accurate perception of the human physiological systems and its processes and structure, and could identify so-called Ayurveda. Alright? That's how the great musician could identify unique tune patterns and possibilities. That's how the great painters can see which are not available in the universe. So, central nervous system. And he also talks about other methods. He says all religions have in its root some kind of yoga. Yoga meaning to be united with consciousness. Whether it is Christian religion or Islam or Buddhism or whatever. The foundation is great. The foundation of the invariant objective of every religion is to achieve tuning with that universe consciousness, or at least individual consciousness in its totality. So the martial arts, even great art forms, particularly talk about the Taoistic martial arts of China and Japan, to achieve that effortless being, to achieve the tuning of the nervous system. So, for example, what happens to the great martial artist who uses a sword or a hand? Remember that dialogue of Bruce Lee, when he was able to cut across 8 bricks with his bare hand. When the interviewer asked him how we are able to do it, he asked the question back, do you think my hand does it? The hand cannot do it. Even decades or centuries of practice cannot make the hand anywhere closer to an iron bar. So it is tuning with that consciousness which is present everywhere. That consciousness acts. So, yoga. And it's very beautiful. And most of the commentators, he talks about Kabir, Mirabai, Ramana Maharshi, and so on, okay? Yeah. And he is quoting. In Taittiriya Upanishad, there is a song which says, when you achieve the goal of yoga, you will have only one feeling. What is that, Oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Something like Richard Feynman said. So, central nervous system, it is mentioned in 2-3 places. I am looking for that. For example, the various deities of Mahabharata and Ramayana and other traditions in other countries. In Mahabharata and the Bhagavad Gita talks about Krishna. He used the word God Krishna. Okay? What is it? That is actually glorifying they have all had a great practice in yoga. Alright? Krishna emphasizes that yoga is essential to bring harmony and success to daily life. He describes yoga as skill in action. Yoga karmamshu kaushalam. That's the line in Bhagavad Gita. Yoga karmamshu, to action, to doing. Kaushalam, intelligence, creativity, originality. Kaushalam, in action, skill in action. That's what he talked about to Arjuna also. See, the word yoga is from the Sanskrit root yuj, Y-U-J, means to join, or it means unity. Okay? And so Panini, the great Sanskrit scholar, says yoga is that which unites is called yoga. See, that which unites is called yoga. He proceeds to define the word in three ways. It is union and coherence or sanyama, complete control, and the unification of the individual soul with the, individual mind with the universal consciousness. You don't need, the individual consciousness is enough. That there are certain, I would say, certain strategic errors in presenting the concept of yoga to the people through the books. They talk everything, which actually confounds the comprehension of a disciple, of a searcher. Again nerve system comes in page number 16. We know that our experience of the world depends entirely on the state of our nervous system. That was your question today. Why my ideas are not comprehensible to many? They cannot, because their conceptualization, their analytic perception of the ideas have never got an experience to deal with this level of consciousness. All experience of most of the educated population is to rottle in ideas and reproduce it. That's why it happened. That's why all these yogis have not been so-called educated. All the creative people who made all significant contributions to the modern world, every one of them is either uneducated or undereducated. Okay? Yeah. All great entrepreneurs included. The greatest musicians do not have any university degree in music. The great poets do not have even basic education. Alright? It is the power of their nervous system. If the nervous system is fresh and rested, the body will be healthy, etc. That is his general idea. It is not a Rasayanic idea. Rasayana talks very clearly about that. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So our Jeevi Yoga is a method of using herbal preparations, what Patanjali calls, translated into English in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Alistair Swearer. So that herbs are like food. Here also he talks about the quality of consciousness depends upon, he says, the right of heredity, the kind of diet we eat, we have, etc. So Rasayana is a kind of ultimate food only, which works with more focus on the cellular system. So be the representative of Jeevi Yoga. I want Ameya Rajrishi to be the protagonist of Jeevi Yoga for the entire world. accepting people who are not, who have all the basic propensities and characteristics and qualities of the mind and behavior and action and language capacity, as well as the basic properties of health to take advantage of the rasayanik foods. Also, who are not greedy for self-discovery also. And that becomes a block.
Thank you.
All right, Ramya.